is quite valuable. Because we'd actually know what people think, and I think that's a really good one.
And the good thing is when you get into this kind of conversation that it's a new discovery. We're discovering a completely whole new world, seriously. And so last week, as I was saying to David, we got into this conversation about this avatar influencer. And I thought, whoa, avatar influencer, what is that? And so Debbie Spaltman was in the group. And so she studied a little bit about this. And so she gave us her insights into this. And that took another direction. And so people were talking about, I mean, in my world here, we're focusing on automation, which seems very sort of basic and trivial compared to talking about the metaverse. However,
they're one and the same.
Exactly, the pragmatic need to run the business and actually automate it so you actually become so efficient and you don't leave it to, did you remember? No, it's automated. You don't need to remember. The system will do it. So in a way, that's moving towards this robotic, this world that I think even entrepreneurs with small businesses need to take on board. So it's not so far away, even though it seems we're talking about a completely new, another world. It's right there. It's on the cusp. It's about to come on, become a reality.
Yeah, I think we're in the Pong stages of AI development.
Yeah.
What we experience, 20 years down the road is going to be something else.
But it's also, I had a conversation with my son yesterday. He's 18 years old, and we were talking about careers, and he was saying, what do you think? What would you suggest? What can I do? What kind of career can I follow? And it was difficult because we were trying to actually eliminate jobs. He was saying, well, that's not going to be there in the next 2-3 years. That's not going to be there in the next 5 years, and that's going to be gone. Teaching and so on. And he was saying, well, what can I do then? And if you think about it, what's there on the horizon can take over everything that we do, apart from if we go deeper into the human emotions, amongst souls and intuition and so on.
Well, yeah. I think you just hit it on the nose there. It's the intuitive side. So we've got the two different ways that we process information. We have our rational side of our mind where we know all the facts and the figures. Well, that's going to be outpaced by technology quite quickly. And what we'll find is we'll be able to tap into that intuitive side. And that is kind of exciting to me, because what I've noticed is if you take the rational side and the intuitive side and you start paying attention to it, you can actually get different answers, and they're both true. To me, that's fascinating, because if you think of the possibilities there. I mean, if you to have the rational side say this is true, and then have the intuitive side say, well, this other answer is true and for a different reason. That's big.
Yeah, maybe intuitive.
I don't know if you're following me on that, but
no, but intuitive based on experience, on
what I'm talking about is like the big data processing that we can do. So our mind processes in two different ways. It has a serial method, which we funnel all the information through the checks and the balances, the logic gates, the true, false, right, wrong. There are all these judgment decisions. It's a mathematical process that we go through. But there's another side that is that intuitive side that is, it looks at this big picture. You don't have a specific, it's almost like stepping into this quantum processing where it's, yes, no, or maybe. It has to do with the spin and the way things are, it's the flow, it's the wisdom. It's a little bit different than right or wrong. It's a deeper processing or deeper function. At least that's my understanding of it. But I think that's where the gold will be, is that as we get pushed out of this rational logic side, we'll move more into that quantum side where that is just a freaky world.
Yeah.
I think it's looking at, you know, the saboteurs and the limitations or our limiting beliefs and so on. One of my major faults, if I can just, it's a fault, it's a limiting belief, or whatever, is I'm hyper rational. So now you're saying this, the rational and the intuitive, is that I'm so rational, I could, you know, rationalizing big data could actually take me out of the market.
Well, think of it this way. You've been so successful being hyper rational. When you go into that intuitive side, just think of the possibilities. I mean, there are areas that you have never even tapped into yet, and you're already doing it. You don't realize it by walking into the woods. You're already there. You're already there because you're taking a break from that thinking, that processing. So you're already moving in that direction. And
yeah. But just talking about the artificial intelligence and the big data analytics, and we're talking about the big data can be analyzed from a rational with numbers and so on. The intuitive part is where we come alive. We actually rise up, and so the human can actually can focus on that, leaving the big data or the rationality to what's coming along. Hi, Philip. Well, you got any thought, Philip? Mohib, good morning. We got David here. Let's start this. Okay, so we got David Jones. David Jones is from Houston, Texas. He now lives in Mexico. He is an expert. He's given all his life into the metaverse now. He's had numerous businesses, and he and his partner have understood that this is where they want to be. So we brought him along here because I'm interested, and I think hopefully you the participants as well of the BEwell, is the metaverse and the metaverse branding. So I want to understand also from my reality, I have a language training school here in Italy, Verona, how this can how can this be brought into my reality, and in your realities as well, whatever you're doing. So David, do you want to take it away and just
absolutely. If you would please give me a co-host capability, that way I can share my screen, and then we can get this party started real quick. I won't bore you guys at all. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Perfect. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to thank you all for having me today. Gary, thank you for having me as well in the BEwell community. You know, it's always good to be part of a community that comes together, that thrives together, and everybody's information and everybody's value, is well warranted. And that's what today's conversation is about, is being able to help people understand, what metaverse, what 3D is, what AR is, all of this as we move forward. So my name is David Jones. Helping everyone live life optimally is what we do. Hello is not just, just to say hello. It's a commitment to helping enterprises leverage leading edge optimizations into the future. So what we do is we pivot companies from Web 2 to 3.0 by helping them streamline their operations, reduce operational costs, should I say, and then more importantly, keep you ahead of the competitive edge, because everybody wants to have that competitive edge. And let me tell you something, this is where we're able to really, take that by the charge and get ahead of the California gold rush, which is what I share with people, which is what this is. And so first and foremost, a lot of people have to understand, what is metaverse? Okay. I talk facts. I don't talk feelings. I don't know about you guys, but I love numbers, and numbers tell it all. And I can assure you that if they're saying that, the metaverse is going to be worth $1.5 trillion by 2030, we all should put our hands up right now, because I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Steve, do you know how long it would take you to count to $1 million or a million just straight? You're on mute.
More than my lifetime.
It would take you 11 days to count to $1 million. Okay. it would take you 1 billion. Anybody want to take a guess at how long it would take you to count to 1 billion? 32 years to count to 1 billion, okay? 32 years to count to 1 billion. To count to 1 trillion, 32,000 years, okay? 283 to be exact. And I share that because that just goes to show us when we talk about 1 million, 1 billion, and 1 trillion, I really don't think we get the gravity of how big that is. And they're saying by 2030, you know, that the metaverse will be worth $1.5 trillion. And it's going to bring $5 trillion to the global economy. So when we talk about, you know, moving forward and is, you know, this one of those fads, well, let me correct some things first and foremost. First of all, Metaverse is not owned by Mark Zuckerberg. A lot of people get this confused because he has changed his name from Facebook to Meta, okay? And so I want everybody to consider that Metaverse, we're all gentlemen here, everybody knows about football, right? NFL. I want you to consider that Metaverse is like the NFL, okay? The NFL is a league. And within the NFL, there are football teams. And Mark Zuckerberg owns one of those football teams that is called Meta, okay? There are other teams out there as well. Microsoft has one, multiple different other companies, and I'm going to show you some of the ones that I'm part of. And we're really being able to understand that we're going from 2D to 3D. Your cell phone is the new pager, to make it short, simple, and sweet. Remember when we went from tapes to CDs to iPad, right? Now we're in the digital age where we're at now. That is where we're going with our actual full immersed technology, where your social media, your networking, your job, your gaming is all in one source. We've been asking for that Office Depot easy button. Well, here you go. We're hitting the Office Depot easy button, and now you're being able to interact with people from all around the world. And so when I say this, I want you guys to consider that the internet is like the newspaper, okay? And that the metaverse is like the movie theater. Nobody wants to read the newspaper anymore, right? The internet is like the highway. The metaverse will be considered the city, okay? And so when we talk about, you know, being able to understand that, you know, the metaverse is kind of like a theme park where the internet would be like the library. Nobody really wants to go to the library these days. Everybody wants to have fun. And so this is where we're transitioning to when we talk about the metaverse. And the biggest thing is that we have to understand, especially for us that are business owners, okay, that are enterprise, that have these facilities. Gary, you were talking about your schooling. Education is about to have a full overhaul, okay? No more building these infrastructures or anything of that sort. You now can create fully immersed environments. And so, you know, when we move forward into talking about, you know, the branding, I want to make sure I break these out as well. When we talk about AR, augmented reality, that would be somewhat like on their newer cars, where you can see through the screen and it has the actual, you know, visualization. When you talk about VR, virtual reality, that is where you're putting on the full immersed goggles, right? Oculus would be some that are coming out, that are out right now. You also have Apple, okay? Hear this and hear this loud. When Apple drops their headsets before the end of the year's out, everybody and their mama is going to all of a sudden become metaverse experts because Apple has joined the game, okay? And so this is really going to be a huge push when Apple comes out with this, just as they came out, you know, and took over BlackBerry. And we talk about numbers, 24% of Nike's profits was from metaverse. So some of you might have heard of Roblox. Some of you might have heard of Fortnite if you have kids. That is the same exact thing, right, that we're talking about when we talk about 3D experiences. And a lot of the times, this is what happens. This is a transition. Oh, those silly kids, they're on Facebook. We're never gonna get on there. You got on Facebook. Oh, those silly kids, they're on Instagram. You got on there. Oh, those silly kids, they're on the chats, right, on the Twitter chats. You got Clubhouse and LinkedIn chat. You got on there. And so here it is next. We're at the Fortnite. Oh, you guys are spending so much time in this virtual. You're going to be in there, okay? And so that is where we're going, where you have to understand you're going to be able to increase engagement, okay? not just for the future generation, but also for now, because they are saying by 2026, 25% of Americans will spend 1 hour bare minimum in Metaverse. Okay, let that sit. 25% of Americans will spend that. And so when we talk about, real-time customization, and this is just forward thinking because AI and Metaverse are hand in hand. Okay, we are just hitting the tip top of this, AI with ChatGPT, with Notion, with all these applications that are more so broadened, but what they're going to do is get more specific, and it's going to be geared toward whatever you want it to do. And prime example, I see it to where somebody can step in as their avatar, go into a store, and that whole entire store transition and changes to that particular client's like, okay, based off the analytics and the data that it has from your avatar. And not only that, when we talk about new revenue streams, we've been able to increase our revenue streams by adding additional things that we do one time. And so we have to understand.
Let me ask you a question, David. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, come on.
I need to slow you down though, because so much you're going to have an overload of information. So I just need to slow you down for 1 second.
Yeah, come on.
Great stuff. I mean, I'm just trying to keep track of all the numbers. So let me understand. You're saying someone could actually, with an avatar shopper, or we were talking, go into a shop in this metaverse reality, and the actual shop changes and offers the products that customer he offers his preferences. Is that right?
I wanted to share something, if you don't mind, David.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just heard on the news this week, they're talking about the data that stores are acquiring. So Target here in the United States has got Bluetooth readers on their shelves. And when you go up and look at a product facing, they're taking your data of how much time you're spending looking at different products, and they're recording that right now. They're doing that right now. So what happens is your phone, if it's got Bluetooth on it, it's transmitting data and it's collecting. So you've got a unique identifier with your phone that is linked to your Bluetooth. And every time you go into the store and look at different products, certain stores are acquiring the data of how much time you're spending at different shelves, what areas you go to in the store, what products you're looking at. So I think that fits right in with what you're saying, David, that in the future, they'll have all of this data, this profile, and they'll be able to say, this is what you like, this is what you buy. Well, you probably would like this product too.
Exactly. So if you guys can see my screen, like I said, I can talk about this until I am blue in the face. I can show you all the facts. I can do all of this, but it does not do me any justice. It definitely does not do you any justice until you're actually a part of this 3D immersive experience, which is what this is. And so what you're looking at here is you're looking at our 3D experience store, right, from our laptop. And so literally from our website, people can go and tap straight into this actual 3D imagery where they're able to walk around, they're able to come, and we actually do, like today, we're doing our How To Tuesdays, where people can come and watch us in the metaverse on this screen from one of our other worlds. And they can join us from their cell phone. They can join us from their laptop, or they can join us from their VR headsets. So this alone sets me apart from anybody else that is having Zoom meetings, that is having conversations. We allow people to use the space. We're actually rebuilding this right now as we speak through that back room where we're going to have a whole lot more interactive, where we're going to showcase our Biz in a Box clients. We're going to be able to have events. We're also going to be able to bring our enterprise clients in as well and showcase different experiences that they can implement. Because although some people might say, oh, well, the metaverse isn't there yet. Well, let me tell you something. We've heard of this company called EXP, which is the real estate company, and they've been taken over by a storm, okay? They've spent 12 years training their people in metaverse, okay? So we have to think of that benefit as well from internal use of being able to train your people with one trainer across the world that they can go and learn different things throughout the whole entire company. Not only that, from an HR issue as well. You're now being able to have HR issues handled right here inside Metaverse, as well deviate from HR issues because now I can have my happy hour or my community events in Metaverse. No longer do I have to worry about, hey, we're meeting at the bar or going to the bowling alley or going to this place. Everybody meets me right in here from the comfort of their own home. And I'm not worried about anybody not showing up to work late or anything of that sort the next day because we're being able to interact in this 3D environment, okay? And so, when we talk about branding, I also want to talk about, innovative collaboration. We're prime example, Gary. I could be able to put, your information up here on the top. Stephen, I could put, your information up here as well. And that right there in itself is collaboration at its finest. So companies are going to see that they can collaborate with one another by showcasing their brand, their pictures in each other's spaces, and have a portal that will go straight to that particular partners or that collaborator that they want to partner with, right? And so when we talk about, realistic situations of how this is working, people are already in here doing this, okay? Gucci just sold a purse, a digital purse for $4,500, okay? Let me say that again. They sold a Gucci purse for $4,500. And so this is where we're going to be moving forward. Prime example with our business, we have one of our worlds that's in multiverse that a lot of people can buy apartments and things of that sort. What we've done, because we're a design firm, we've created a whole entire apartment, apartment like a guide where people can come in and purchase different designs and things of that sort one time, okay? So that's added on additional revenue streams. People are now wanting to buy digital assets. No longer do these kids want the toys and all that other stuff. Hey, I want some money so I can go buy, a jacket. I can go buy my shoes. I can go buy this in Metaverse and utilize this 3D experience, right? And so when we talk about, is this a gimmick? It is not. This is the future.
That was one of the questions. Is this a gimmick? Is this just have we gone past the metaverse, or is it something? Are we moved on somewhere else now? I do have any other questions off the floor? Yeah, I mean, Muhib, do you want to? Because I mean, this is all we're not talking about physical contact. I mean, even David said about they could have an evening out, the staff could go out together in the metaverse. The next day, they're not going to be late for work and so on. But it's nothing. It's all through the metaverse. It's nothing real. It's like nothing physical. How
Absolutely. So we actually have our game night. So we have we play bingo. That's a lot of fun. We actually have bowling as well. And that's the thing as well, within these metaverses, like I said earlier, there are different teams that have different experiences. Okay. So there's bowling, there's pool, there's golf. We go and play golf. I go and play golf and I do business on the golf course in Metaverse, right? From the comfort of my own home, which, about a good 60% of business is done on the golf course. So now I'm able to meet up with clients on the golf course in virtual VR, and it's a completely different experience. And like I said, if you haven't put them on, you will not understand it until you actually go through it and be like, you know what? This was funner than actual 18 rounds of golf and me sweating my behind off and me, spending a whole bunch of money on balls that I lost. So, and that's coming from experience. So, this is a great way that we can interact.
I think Mohib's got a question. Mohib, you got a question for us? A reflection?
Yes, yeah. So as I forgot your name.
David.
As David said, that he can do this for hours and he can sit there and just be here. And how is this helping you with your mental health?
That's a great question. It really allows me to be able to have conversations with people right here on the spot. And this is the best thing I share with people. This is taking us back to the old days, okay? If you really want to think about it, history repeats itself. I'm able to sit here with my laptop, wide open just like this, be doing my work, And if somebody comes into my storefront, I can literally hit this unmute button and they'll be able to talk to me. So imagine you sitting in your office right now and you having a TV up on the wall that has your storefront or has your 3D environment, that when people come in here, you get to interact with them. Guess what? No more emailing, no more go check my Instagram, go to my website, none of that. I get to have a one-on-one conversation with that person as if we're old school, right? Belly to belly, as we like to say, and having that conversation. And so for my mental health, it's been able to help me out because I've been able to do what Warren Buffett said from the jump. Find a way to make money, right, while you're sleeping. And this, my friends, is pillow money at its finest, that I get to set up these environments without me being there and showcasing my brand, showcasing my services, showcasing all about Hello LLC without me being there.
Okay, how different is this character than your actual you?
I'm sorry, go again?
How different is this character of yours than your actual you?
Well, the great thing about this avatar is I can change this avatar however I want to change it. And once again, yep.
So my question is very specific. How is this person different than you as you?
You know, that's a great question. You know, how is this person different than me? It really isn't any different than me because I get to create this person. And that's the one great thing about Metaverse is that we have defined gravity. We get to now think at the speed of thought. We get to produce things at the speed of thought moving forward, other than back in the day, we had all these structures, red tape, and all this other things. You now get to create anything and everything you want to. So when you see this person, this is me because I created it, and now you get to hear a voice.
Well, you created in what image?
I created it in the image of myself as a bald-headed Black guy, as you see.
So
right?
That's how you would like to be, or that's how you are?
That's how I am. You know, there are times we have events that I change it, right? My significant other, she has an alligator suit that she changes it into. So you really get to show up as your authentic self. So, you know, it's really allowing you to be whoever you want to be. And I think one of the biggest things that people misconstrued is that this is allowing everyone to be on the same playing field. Are disabled, are unavailable, right? Are handicapped. They're now able to be put on the same playing field by putting on these VR headsets, nobody judging them by what they look like, nobody judging them about who they are. They get to show up authentically, right? As their voice, as their energy. And this is going to create so many more opportunities. Like I said, you have AAA meetings in here. You have therapists that are already in here taking their meetings. So this is really, you know, taking the healthcare industry and just being us as a human civilization to excel ourselves to people around the world because it's open to the globe.
So when you create your avatar, David, you're creating the avatar for a specific purpose for your audience, right? You say it's the authentic David, but you're creating this for someone else. So how do we know it's the authentic David if everything is what we see is perfect? Is that David Jones, the perfect David Jones?
Yeah.
Are you perfect?
Yeah, you know, that's a whole nother area, you know, a different critique. And I think a lot of the times when we talk about the avatars, when we get into that, is this you? Is this the authentic you? You know, I think it just depends on who you're having that conversation with. This allows us, as I shared with people from the beginning, Metaverse has taken us from us playing the Super Mario Brothers, right, and pressing the buttons, to now you are Super Mario, where you get to jump up and move around in the world however you want to, and you get to do however, you know, it shows up for you.
Okay, what are the negative things then? We know all the good things now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Multi-million-dollar, it is amazing, it is all that. So what's the catch?
You know, just like with anything, you know, I would say that the health concerns would be, you know, especially for the VR headsets, of, you know, the usage of those. After the last year and a half, I thought I would start seeing things, but I haven't. So, you know, you have the health concerns of wearing the VR, especially for our children. as that's so close to the brain. When we talk about, privacy and security, we are moving to a whole new realm because this is a decentralized, world that you get to create and do anything you want to, but it all depends on that particular, football team that you join of what they allow and what they don't allow. And then, when we talk about, the divide, the digital divide of where we're at right now, those are some of the bad things. But as I shared with somebody that asked me that question all the time, if you go looking for bad, then you're going to get bad. But I see this as something that is propelling us so much further for so many more people to now, especially with these AI tools, it's drag and drop, and it's giving us all the opportunity to be on the same playing field as the large corporations and these bigger businesses, where just anybody can dive in here and build and create and have the same, gravity that, a Nike or a Gucci has right now. So I really believe, a lot of the negatives haven't presented themselves as of yet. It has more opportunity now, just like with anything. And, they said the same thing about the internet. They said the same thing about cars wouldn't take over horses, right? They said the same thing about satellites would never improve our technology. And so, this is just a newer technology that we're going to be able to experience in a human way. And it's up to us of how we deal with it, just like with anything.
So can this be sort of like a blended approach to business, or does it have to be all or nothing?
No, absolutely not. No, this allows you to have a blended application. Prime example. Can you see my screen still? Yeah. So prime example, we built out Biz in a Box, which is our one app, one tap. And this allows us to really upgrade people's traditional websites, their link tree, right? Their 10K card, whatever they might be using. And we integrate this all into one package to where literally we get to showcase this from a 2D world, as we talked about, moving into a 3D world. So customers can come and check out people's traditional websites and, and right here, my friends, it says visit your VR store. And that literally takes people straight to this store that people can get to from their phone. And so now I have all three methods to get in contact with people through VR headsets, through laptop, or cell phone, okay? And so that's the easy transition that we make for our clients and our customers. And if they want to, make this particular environment as far as a school or a lecture hall or, anything else, we can build those out.
David, can I ask a question?
Sure.
So, from someone that comes from the world of gaming and been spending a lot of time there in the last 30 years, I almost said. So the creation of this avatar is completely anonymous, I'm assuming. Is it connected to something real life? Let's say, like, could they identify you through it, or are you completely anonymous when you visit other people's stores?
No, people will know exactly who I am. I wish I had somebody else in here with me. Let me see. You can tell exactly who people are.
Yeah.
Right? Create these avatars within that team, right? Because there's another team that I can go to, and instead of this avatar, I'm like a little robot.
Yeah.
Right? My little picture in the front. And so each team has its own set of uniform that you would wear. And I get to pick this.
How about me as a client? Could I potentially like create an avatar and then be anonymous on the metaverse or not?
Absolutely. You can. I have people that join me all the time. It takes you 2 minutes to download this spatial app. And sometimes actually when you come in, sometimes people come in as women, sometimes come in because they just make it selective. And then you can go in and change your avatar, right? So you get to create these avatars however you want to in each world. Okay, let me make sure we're crystal clear, because this is where the confusion comes to. Each world has a different avatar. They are working on it to where I'll have one avatar and I'll be able to go from every single world with that same avatar.
Okay. No, I was thinking as well, as I said, I've been in gaming for quite a while, and one big issue with gaming is that people are quite anonymous, and so you get trolls, a lot of trolls. So I'm just thinking, like, if you have had any experience with that, and if there's any solutions to it as well.
The trolls that we get are the kids on here, right? That come in here, and then some worlds have more than others. And in this world, I can literally kick people out. If I don't like, what they're doing, I have a host of tools where I can literally, select them out of there. There are other worlds where you can vote. There are other worlds where you can mute and ignore and boot them out. Like I said, each team has its own rules that applies to that. But yeah, you can come in here anonymously. You can come in here as who you are. Right now, and that would be another one of our concerns, right? That you asked about earlier, is what are the cons about it? I truly see it being to where our AI technology, like prime example, this guy, I'm going to be able to have an AI avatar that's going to be able to go in each one of my environments. And when somebody pops into that environment, this AI tool is going to be able to know exactly who that person is and critique their actual sales pitch or whatever I'm presenting in this environment to that particular person. Okay. And I'm going to have a blue check mark over my head to have that other person know that, hey, you're talking to a real person. This is where I see it's going. Okay. Wow. And not only that, I see it to where this whole entire room will be able to transition and change towards whoever comes in the room. So Gary, if you walked into this room, it would change to your likings and what you would like. And this is the future of marketing and branding of what you were talking about earlier. This allows us to, be able to pick up from Dubai and go over, to Ireland just like that by just transitioning from one world to another. And in one of the worlds we're in, which is called multiverse, this allows us to be able to interconnect all these worlds together, no matter what comes about, right? And so, this is where the metaverse allows us to really extend ourselves. And like I said, right now, my store is open right now, 24/7 to people around the world that has, my storefront up and rolling where they can see all the information. And then it's going to get to the point where it translates to the actual language.
Do you see the future, David, with a sensorial addition to this? I mean, I was just trying to sort of, I'm old style, old school. So I'm comparing the reality that I'm used to going for a walk in the woods, playing tennis, and then I'm thinking about this space that I could come here, and it looks like it's a play area, play space that I come here, temporarily play, and then I go to the reality. But so my question is, if this becomes my reality and the outside world is just something I'm less and less in contact with, outside world meaning physical world, do you see the sensorial being put into these spaces where I can actually smell or I can feel something physical?
Absolutely. And to answer your question, we're already there. Everybody's immersed in their phones and their nose is stuck in their phones, right? So, I mean, we're talking about, facing reality from real, we're there already. People have a hard time distinguishing, when they go look at Instagram to when they're in real life. We're already getting to the point that we don't understand the difference between the two. And then, when you talk about, this experience, this world, you're finding that, people are working out more in metaverse. You're being able to get that body movement, especially with seniors in metaverse from these virtual realities by, like I was sharing with you. Gamification has been what we have all been experiencing for the last 30 years, from Sega to Super Nintendo to PlayStation to Xbox, right? From Candy Crush to all these games that you're seeing, on our phones with the little man, the zombies and all this other game, this gamification at its finest. And so now this allows us to immerse ourselves into a 3D dimensional world, which we're not going back from, because if we've been watching the movies, we're already been there. All of our movies are kind of, in 3D. This is going to replace your movie theaters. There's actually an app called Big Screen that you get to now plug up your Netflix, plug up your Amazon, and watch it just as if you were at the movie theaters. And it is a whole lot better than the movie theaters from the comfort of your own home. So any experience that you want to, have, it's already created in the metaverse. Hopefully that answers your question, Gary.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get my head around that, but
like I said, this is something that you really, I'll send you guys have this link. It's in our Hello Enterprise, where I encourage you to go and press on that link, build your avatar, and come in here and experience it from your phone, from your laptop. The best way is definitely if you have the VR headsets, because that was another one of your questions. Hey, how do you get in here? What is the first steps? Well, you can get into it right now. You can go buy the Oculuses, right? The Pros at $429, and you can be able to, get into any virtual world that you want to. And then, of course, you have your old standard laptop, which I'm showing you guys on now. But until you actually put on the immersive glasses and you're able to experience, it is not just about games, okay? It is going to get to the point to where these companies are figuring out after the pandemic, you know what? You go ahead and stay at home, because I realized that if I put you in virtual reality, I'm going to save $2,500 per employee. Not only that, I'm going to reduce my overhead of not having all these trainers and all this other stuff. I can have one person that's centralized to everything, to people all around the world, and create different experiences and trainings for my employees from the comfort of their own home. So instead of me flying you to come to this, corporate event, or me flying you, to go see these customers, here goes a 3D immersive world that you meet your clients on, and we can send them these Oculuses that they can come experience it. I'm not having to compete with them missing their meetings or their cell phone or the secretary or anybody else, because they're in this virtual reality and I have their full attention.
Just reflecting on how a business like my business could actually implement this into its structure of marketing communication, and is the market ready for this, or is it, or you are too far ahead of the market? Does the market have to be educated, or do the clients have to be educated on this?
No, you already have schools that are already in here. Texas Southern is already in here. You also have parts of USC that's in here. And so especially for what you're doing with schooling and education, this is far beyond, what you expected, to be able to help your students learn a lot faster than they are right now, and not have to worry about the logistics. Okay. And especially for those of us that are in business, we have to understand who is your niche. And if your niche is, these youngsters, it's an 80% chance that these youngsters are going to purchase from a 3D environment than your 2D world. And that's another thing that we as business owners and enterprises, we have to understand, where is our niche? Where are our customers at? What do they want? Not what we want. And if you look at the numbers, Travis Scott got 47 million people to come visit his virtual VR world. You got to start thinking at that point. They don't make stadiums for 27 million people. I'd like to see that. Right? And so you get to take this to a whole new level when we talk about this. And let's see here. We go back to my
I was curious. So
yeah.
So I'm a novice on it. I've got the headset.
Yeah.
But I really haven't done a whole lot with it. I'm just trying to get everything else rolling as I'm doing it. And I see the application for it, but my question is so in Facebook, I know, like, I just sent you a message, like, how do I find Hello Plaza? And I realized that it's, we're sending Facebook messages out through Messenger. Are the Facebook pages and all that, is that, do you just have to turn that on, or how does that work?
So this is where the transition is happening. Facebook already has an NFL team in the metaverse. Instagram has it in there. It's not fully automated like it is now on your 2D phone, where literally in the Oculus that they just created, I can send you a message to where you can tap straight in from your Oculuses and go straight into, our Hello Plaza. And so
All right,
this
let's
is
try it
some of
out.
the-
Send me
yeah,
a message.
this is some of the applications that we're having to worry about.
Oops. Battery's low, so it'll probably die here, but
Yeah, it will.
Don't disappear, Steve. You just
let's
disappear.
see what happens. It's interesting because it does look like it's 3D.
Yeah, boom. I just sent that to you. So that right there will drop you straight into our Hello Plaza there. And have you downloaded Multiverse? Steve?
I think so.
Okay, if you've downloaded Multiverse, then we can definitely show you that way into there. But I sent you that link, so you should be able to go into your Oculus messages and hit that link, and that'll take you straight into our actual welcome center. And it drops you in
Telling
there.
me to log in.
Yep. And so, this is the bigger thing that people have to understand, that the ease and the transition of getting into Metaverse, right, is not as easy as I would like it to be right now. And if people aren't as technical as I would like them to be, because I find out most people aren't that technical, then it can be a little cumbersome. But we've created tools and tips and tricks, especially through our pivot program, where we've made a whole entire slew of videos that can help people make this transition. So, for businesses, this is the California gold rush. I mean, this is something that you absolutely must be able to pivot into, because this is kind of like with Blockbuster, right? I'm coming to you guys as Netflix, and I'm saying, hey, there's this new technology over here that you might want to take a look at, and you need to get in here now. And you can sit there and you can wait till everybody else gets in there, and then you be the last on the block to get there. I'm gonna tell you right now, I bought a piece of land in Metaverse that cost me what was that? About $100. It's now worth almost $4,000. People have to understand this. In the last 12 months, $2 billion has been spent on real estate land. Okay. And so when I ask,
David, I have a question about that actually. So how can there be a market for land in a virtual reality where I'm guessing space is infinite? No?
It is infinite, right? Absolutely. But location. In Decentraland right now, Snoop Dogg owns a plot of land, and to get next to his plot of land costs you $52,000. Well,
How can sorry, this is me because I've never spent time in the metaverse, but how can distances be of any weight at all? I'm assuming you could teleport wherever you want, no?
So that's a great question. You can teleport from within that team. Like earlier, we were in our spatial team, right? I can teleport in that world, but also within one of the worlds we have, you can teleport to all of these metaverses. So every team might not allow you to go to, their team. Okay.
So it's kind of like hubs in a subway in a sense, like they're okay.
Absolutely, right? And in that spatial, I'm able to go anywhere within that spatial, okay? If I hop out and I go back to the main metaverse, right, that allows me, or should I say your mobile app store, that's what I want you guys to all consider. When he puts on those Oculuses, he's gonna drop into his mobile app store. And in that mobile app store, he can decide to go to Multiverse, he can go to Spatial, he can go to Horizon, he can go anywhere, and he has to download that particular app into those Oculuses. And when he goes into that world, it has its own environment of what you want it to look like, right? And so that is the difference of which world you go and pick that allows you the access that people can have. And I love the spatial one because I get to have people join me from my cell phone, their laptop, or the Oculuses, right? And I have another world that is just geared towards the VR headsets.
So correct me if I'm wrong, so you're basically paying for the association of the other people or other clients inside that hub is what you're paying for, let's say. Like it's exclusive because you're in the same hub as Apple or you're in the same hub as.
Boom, boom, right? Exactly. You hit it on the head. Okay. If I want to be in the Apple world, then I'm going to have to pay in the Apple world. Okay. Whereas if I go over to, this other platform that's free, it might not be worth anything because it doesn't have the marketing, doesn't have the people, it doesn't have that traction. So that's where your profit and your money comes into place.
So your business, David, is to get companies working with the metaverse. Is that right? Is that what your business is?
Yes, we transition companies from Web 2 to 3.0. And so what we're able to do is literally transition and help them in implementing new strategies, new technologies, new AI technologies into their current business right now, and then being able to implement them into the 3D immersive world, whether that be the spatial or the multiverse. And at best, the great thing about what we do is we can teach you, we can show you, or we can do it for you. And that's the great three strategies that we allow people to be able to access into the metaverse.
So what kind of investment are we talking about? What kind of time are we talking about? How long does that, how long does this all take?
Absolutely. So with our actual spatial store that I just showcased, that's about a month build out, if that, right? Depending on what you want. If we have some templates that you might want to have already up and rolling, we can do that in a week or so. You're talking about, starting out about $500 to have your own virtual store. It can go all the way up to $150,000, right? I have one world where, just to get in, to build your own space is, bare minimum 100,000.
Right. And so what kind of companies are you working with now, and what sector?
A lot of real estate, definitely a lot of services and products. Authors are taking a huge advantage of being able to have, this virtual space. A lot of healthcare. There really isn't, one particular industry that we concentrate on. It's really the entrepreneurs and the businesses that are forward thinkers. Straight, just flat out, right? We're not for everyone, but we are for those people that have forward thinking and want to be able to excel themselves and showcasing their brand, showcasing what their experiences with their clients and their customers, because that's what they want.
So what are the basic requirements for a company to actually transform, or whether transform, just go into this new reality? Nothing.
Like I said, you can have a cell phone, you can have your laptop, or you can have the VR headsets. It just depends on what type of capabilities you want in your business and how you want to interact with your clients. Do you want it public or do you want it private? That's our first question, right? Do you want to showcase your services, or do you want to showcase your events and being able to host events? Right. So there's different ways that we go about it to be able to help people strategically, set themselves apart from everyone else that they're dealing with. So it's really a customizable package that we can do, or we have, our standard templates.
So I'm literally curious, Steve, did you manage to get into the virtual? Oh, you're muted, Steve.
So I'm in my own little space somewhere. I'm up in like in an apartment building.
Okay. Yep. You're in your apartment. So Steve, if you go to your right, you see where
the directory.
Well, if you go to your right, oh yeah. On your left controller.
Yeah.
If you pick your hand up real quick, you'll see, yep, on the actual controller, there's 3 little lines.
Oh yeah.
It's right up underneath the X button. It's like an indent button.
You want to go to the home or what? Where do you go?
No. You're okay. No. Put your hands, get away from your wrists. Don't flip them up, but actual on the wristband itself, you have a button that is below the X button, and it's an indent button. It has 3 little lines. So pick your headsets up real quick.
All right. So,
No, take your
so-
take your hands, take your headpiece off real quick.
oh, yeah,
On your left remote, put up your left
Yeah.
remote.
okay.
Look at your left remote.
Oh, okay, the buttons here?
Yep, look at the buttons. And
All
on
right,
the
got it.
buttons, on the buttons themselves, you'll have a little indent button. Not one that presses down, but it has 3 lines.
Right, got it. Yeah, I hit it.
And a
So I've
big
got the,
menu will come up that says Discovery menu.
all right. How do I move? So, okay, there it goes. All right, so discovery menu, I got metaverses. Yeah, I've got the discovery menu.
And do you see events?
Yep,
Click on events.
all right.
And then, no, because it won't take you there.
Is it places?
You can go to places or storefronts.
All right,
Do you see storefronts?
I do see storefronts here.
Click on the storefronts,
And then I need to search for it because I don't see it.
and then you can search for Hello Wellness, Hello Solar, Hello Caring Hands.
I don't see it. How do you search for it?
So you just scroll. So if you're looking at the pictures,
Mhm.
you'll see where it has a tab where you can move the tab over, and you just scroll over left and right. And then when you get to the end of it, it'll say see more.
Let's see here. I got you. You probably have to walk me through it because it's
Yeah, I'll have to walk you through.
there's new, it's got new, all I've got is new storefronts,
Yep. And then go up to the top.
nearby storefronts,
Yep.
but I don't see where I can search.
Well, no, you're not gonna search. They don't have a search button on where you see all the stores at. You can slide over. It's like a little sliding scale, and you can slide over to different stores. So pick one category.
All right. Yeah, I got it here. So I got popular, nearby.
Do popular.
All right.
What stores come up?
I keep grabbing them. So I've got Wall Legends, Multi-Grand Mall, Yvette's AI Studio.
The Multi-Grand Mall, is that the New York, or is it say Hello Plaza?
No, they're not. These are. It's the Multi-Grand New York City.
Yep. Okay. There's the New York City. That's not ours.
Let me go to the events and see what's here on the events.
Listen,
Oh, I got it.
you guys, we I know you're having fun, Steve. I know you're having fun there.
Yeah, I'll get you on a separate call.
Exactly. We have to get this. We're gonna have to ask David to actually run us through this one by one, really, not all together. But
Yeah,
It's I found it. So I think I'm in there now. But yeah.
Yep.
Oh, well, great. I mean, we saw a real life version of what's happening really there as well. That was great. Wow,
Yeah,
David, loads to take on board, loads to think about, reflect on, to see where we are, me personally with my business, and where we're going and how we can actually implement this reality, which is on the doorstep, really. So thank you very much for this insight. And I think probably we need to have another one, definitely another one or two. And the people who were here last week are not here this week, unfortunately, because they had lots of interesting things to say, but I'm sure we'll have another opportunity. So thank you again. Thank you for your time.
absolutely.
Thank you, Mohib, Philip. Thank you for being here. Hopefully you guys heard something interesting, you're taking something away.
Definitely.
Yeah, and next week we're going to be talking about facial analysis. Facial analysis in business and in life, how that could help us, what we need to look for when we're actually negotiating, recruiting, and so on. So we're going to have someone come on the BEwell next week to talk about that. So if you're free, you want to join, we're really good to see you. So have a great day, and we'll speak to you soon.
Awesome.
Thank you guys. Thank you, David. Take care.
The videos are on YouTube, David, you too. So if you want to use the video, go onto YouTube and you'll find it there. You can use it from there. Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
All right. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.